Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
Well, the bags are packed once again. We open up this next to last road trip of the year with a quick two-game stop in San Francisco, McCovey Cove. D-backs a chance to change the narrative against the Giants this year. They've lost 9 of their last 10 versus San Francisco after sweeping a 4-game series here earlier this year. It's the D-backs and the Giants on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from AT&T Park and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. First of 2 here, D-backs and the Giants, and what a pitching matchup we have in store for you tonight. Johnny Cueto on the mound for the Giants and Zack Greinke for the Diamondbacks. Bob, Zack Greinke has never lost in this ballpark.
He's pitched extremely well in this ballpark. He's pitched extremely well against the Giants in his career. An 8-1 record with an ERA under 2.5 against San Francisco. Of course, most of that coming as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But you're right. This is one of those matchups when you see it on the stat sheet, you circle it. You want to see how this one turns out.
Well, in terms of Cueto, Diamondbacks, of course, beat him here at AT&T Park back in April. It was his first loss as a Giant, and he's won just once in his last 8 starts overall.
It's been a little bit of a rough go for Johnny Cueto recently, but much like Zack Greinke, he's had great success against the Diamondbacks in his career, 8-2 over the course of his career with an ERA just under 3.
Well, this one should be fun. Greinke and the D-backs, Cueto and the Giants. First pitch from AT&T Park is coming up shortly here on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By Bank of America. Life's better when you're connected. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Lone View Casino. Get in on big wins. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Tire Pros. For the best selection of Continental and General brand tires, visit your local Arizona Tire Pros today. And by Gigablast. 100 times more powerful internet from Cox. Bring on tomorrow. A beautiful evening by the bay here in San Francisco. D-backs 12-5 at AT&T Park since the start of last season. A quick two-game series here gets underway shortly. First pitch coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
Diamondbacks and the Giants, game one of two, game one of an 8-game road trip. We welcome you back. Steve Berthune and Bob Brentley have the call coming up in just a couple of minutes. I'm Todd Wall, still hanging out here inside the Diamondbacks dugout. We talked about this on Diamondbacks Live, the pregame show. Tomorrow afternoon, starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, no longer TBD, no longer to be determined. We now know officially it will be Shelby Miller, recalled after 6 weeks in Reno with the Aces in AAA. He posted a 5-1 record with a 3.91 earned run average in 55 innings. He walked 10 guys. And I will tell you the most impressive thing about Shelby Miller wasn't the breaking ball improving or the mechanics being consistent. You talk to anybody, including his manager Chip Hale, it was the confidence, the swagger to get out of trouble when he got into it, to find his way out. He wasn't doing that at the major league level.
Able to handle, when guys got on base and sort of, stop the bleeding. Gets a couple guys on and maybe gets out of it with one run. Up here it was hard. We've got, bases loaded and 4 or 5 guys would score. So he was able to do that. His numbers are very good in AAA. He deserves the opportunity to come back and pitch. And like I said this whole time, if we expect to go to the places we want to go in 17, he has to be a key component on the mound for us.
Mound presence, I think he sort of touched on that, but just the ability to get
I think the mound presence part of it's great, but you have to pitch well. It's I think that goes into the whole part of when you start to struggle, things get out of control because you see his mound presence kind of deteriorate. And that's what Phil said. He was okay there. He, when things got bad, he just sort of stepped off and got it back together and got out of jams, and that's what we expect him to do here.
Pale referring to Phil Nevin, the manager of the Reno Aces, quoted in the Arizona Republic just the other day saying he deserves to be in the majors and pitching. Shelby Miller, Zach Godley will be dispatched to the bullpen for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll see how it plays out over the weekend at Coors Field in Denver. So let's focus on this matchup here, though. A rematch of an outing we saw back in early May. Zach Greinke and Johnny Cueto. Cueto got the best of Greinke in that one. Tonight, we'll find out together in moments.
Welcome back to San Francisco. A cool and breezy night here at AT&T Park. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Todd Walsh along the way. D-backs just 5 games left this year against the Giants. A quick 2-game stop here in San Francisco, followed by 3 games at Chase Field next month, beginning on September 9th. And here's a look at your Valley Chevy dealers lineup. Gene Segura leads it off for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Gene Segura will be at second base tonight as usual. Michael Bourne in left field tonight. A.J. Pollock in center. Paul Goldschmidt down at first base. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Jake Lamb at third. Yasmani Tomas out in right field. Chris Owings at short. And Zach Greinke on the mound.
And on the mound for the Giants, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher is Johnny Cueto. 14-4 with a 2.86. That ranks him 7th best in the National League. He was the NL starting pitcher in the All-Star game. He's already thrown 2 shutouts and posted 4 complete games.
Yeah, he's been really good here at AT&T this season. 6-2 with an ERA of 2.63. However, he's given up 11 home runs in his last 11 outings after giving up only 3 in his first 15 starts this season. And the wind that you mentioned is blowing out slightly, which should help the hitters a little bit.
Let's take a look at the Giants defensively. It's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Angel Pagan will be out in left field. Denard Span in center. Hunter Pence over in right field. It'll be Nunez and Crawford on the left side of the infield with Panic and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey behind the plate for the right-hander, Johnny Cueto.
Bill Welke is behind the plate tonight. He'll have the balls and strikes. Vic Carapaza at first base. Ryan Blakeney at second. And John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, is at third. We are set to go. D-backs and Giants will play one tonight and one more tomorrow at 12:45 of the afternoon start on a getaway day Wednesday. Not sure what Bill Welke's concern is right here.
He's looking at the big clock in center field that says it's only 7:13 and a half right now. The game's supposed to start at 7:15. Johnny Cueto and Gene Segura having a running conversation there while we wait.
That gives Bill Welke a chance to brush off the plate one more time. He keeps pointing to his watch, yelling into the Diamondback dugout. So while we have an extra moment or two, let's take a look, Bob, at your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, we know Johnny Cueto likes to shimmy and shake out there. It's got a good beat. You can dance to it. I give it a 98.
A quick pitch on the first pitch, and it's in there for a strike. Do you want to explain that?
Well, you know, American Bandstand, which eliminates a lot of our watchers, but yeah, he used to have rate a record. It's got a good beat. It's easy to dance to. I give it a 98.
With the shimmy and the shake and the whole thing out there.
Yeah.
We've already seen him quick pitch. He's ahead of Segura 0-2. There is the El Tiante with a pause in the middle.
You get the feeling Johnny Cueto could get a hula hoop going around his waist and could just continue to pitch.
Segura batting .316. He's got 12 home runs. Gene back in there tonight. He was removed from Saturday's game early with a stomach bug and sat out Sunday as well. So it's good to have him back in the lineup. A.J. Pollock is in there. Yasmani Tomas is back in there. This is the way things were supposed to look back in April. For the most part.
Cueto will throw a couple of different fastballs. Sink it, he'll cut it, he'll throw a slider, he'll throw a change up, he'll change arm angles from time to time, give you a different delivery almost every pitch.
Diamondbacks facing Johnny Cueto for the fourth time this season. Cueto is 2-1 against the Diamondbacks with a .386 ERA. In fact, the Diamondbacks handed Cueto his first loss as a Giant. That was here at AT&T Park on April 21st. Here's a quick pitch. He missed away, and it's 2-2.
One thing that really jumps off the stat sheet when you look at Johnny Cueto's numbers against the Diamondbacks this year, there you see the 3 starts, a 2-1 with a .386. He struck out 21 batters, walked only 2. Both these starting pitchers tonight right around 5 strikeouts for every walk.
Well, there's a strikeout. Segura put up a fight. 1 down.
Two-seam fastball elevated. Kind of working its way back toward that outside corner of the plate. Too close to take.
Michael Bourne now. Michael getting the start in left field tonight. .265 and 3 home runs. Rushing it up there again is Cueto when it's 0-1. He's stolen a couple of strikes that way. Michael Bourne with a great track record of success against Johnny Cueto. .393 lifetime batting average versus Cueto. He's 11 for 28. Dropped it right in there. Cueto changing the tempo. He's attacking these guys with that quick pitch early in the ball game.
Yeah, quick pitch, especially the first delivery and the last delivery to Michael Bourne. The one in the middle, he kind of held the ball for a while as he was shimmying and shaking out there on the mound.
A.J. Pollock. There it is again. This time he missed, and it's 1-0. A.J. 3 hits, couple of stolen bases Sunday in the win over the Reds. Just his 3rd game back from that right elbow fracture. Big hesitation that time. Cueto behind 2-0.
I had a hitting coach in the minor leagues one time that, we were talking about timing and rhythm, and he said when a pitcher shows you his back pocket, you should show him yours. That's kind of a general timing mechanism. As that pitcher turns his back to home plate and lifts that leg up and then turns and fires to home, you should do kind of the same thing as a hitter. Well, Johnny Cueto won't let you do that. He might show you his pocket and the ball's already on the way.
He walked Pollock on 4 pitches, and now he'll deal to Paul Goldschmidt. Cueto maybe getting a little too quick for his own good there. Now here's Goldie. 303 and 20 home runs. Keep in mind, AJ just got his first 2 stolen bases of the year Sunday against the Reds. So, he's itching to make up for lost time over there at first. Goldie swings at the first pitch, hits it in the air to right field. There's Hunter Pence coming in. And Johnny Cueto strands the 2-out walk. We're in San Francisco. Zach Greinke coming up. Francisco as we start the home half of the first inning, AT&T Park. And your Arizona forward starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Zach Greinke. 11-4 in 21 starts, a 4.29 ERA. Zach got his first win as a Diamondback here at AT&T Park on April 20th.
Yeah, coming off a no decision against the Braves, hooked up with Julio Teheran in that ball game. He gave up 2 runs in the 5th. Both of those guys walked. Came around to score on the Ender Inciarte double. Gave up a couple more runs in the 6th. Exited with the lead. That game went into extra innings. You may remember Brandon Drury with a sac fly to win it.
Giants beginning this series only a game and a half behind the Dodgers for the NL West lead. Dodgers lost 8-1 at Colorado last night. LA has Rich Hill on the mound at Coors tonight versus the Rockies' Tyler Anderson. So we'll keep an eye on that one as Denard Span leads it off. Span 277, 9 home runs. Those 9 homers already a career high. He is red hot right now at the plate. 2 hits in each of his last 3 games. And a home run here Sunday. They beat the Braves. Chops it right back to Greinke. Quickly 1 out. Take a look at your lineup, your Valley Chevy dealers lineup for Bruce Bochy's Giants.
Denard Span down on the 1-3. He plays center field. Angel Pagan out in left field. Buster Posey behind the plate. Brandon Crawford at shortstop. Brandon Belt at first base. Hunter Pence out in right field. Joe Panik back from the disabled list. He'll be at second base. Eduardo Nunez at third, and Johnny Cueto on the mound.
Yeah, this is pretty much as healthy as Bruce Bochy's team has been all year. Even some guys are slumping despite the fact they're back. Angel Pagan. Ball 1 to Pagan, who's hitting .290 with 9 home runs.
reached base safely, either a hit or a walk in 22 of his last 23 games.
He's a switch hitter, not really any difference for Pagan from either side of the plate in terms of batting average or power for that matter. He's dangerous from each batter spots. Two balls and one strike to Angel Pagan. Pagan hit .359 during a 19-game hitting streak that was just snapped last Wednesday, and there you see the splits. He was cooled off by the cooler.
Yes, he was.
And he stayed cold, in fact. Pagan, since that 19-game hitting streak ended, is just 2 for his last 19 up there. So that cooler effect has lingered, as it often does.
Once you've been touched by the cooler, it's tough to get back on track.
Follows you around for a while. There's a little bloop. Jake Lamb going to get chase, and it just drops foul. A break for the Diamondbacks right there. That one just missed. Pagan's in at second base, if that's fair.
Full swing, hit it right off the handle of the bat. You could see clearly, just foul down that third base line near the Giants bullpen, and we'll point out that those mounds could possibly come into play here. Bullpen in both right and left field, just off the field of play.
Fortunately, it never comes into play. Wait, what?
What?
2-2 on Pagan. Same spot, this one drifting toward the seats, though. Jake is over there, and he's got it. Jake Lamb reaches into the Giant dugout and snags it. That's out number 2.
Get to that barrier as quickly as you can, and then reach over, make the play. Nicely done.
Our eye on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Challenge for Yasmani Tomas tonight, one of the toughest right fields in all of baseball. A.J. Pollock will help him out from center field. Michael Bourne over in left. It'll be Lamb and Owings on the left side of the infield, with Segura and Goldschmidt on the right side. Wellington Castillo behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
And he saw Tomas looking into the Diamondback dugout for his defensive alignment against Buster Posey, who fouls that one off.
And we talked about, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We talked about right field here before. Most teams, the Giants included, play their right fielder over in the gap in right center to try to take away that triples alley out there, figuring that a ball hit down the right field line is probably going to be a double anyway, but a ball hitting that gap in right center is a triple, maybe an inside to Parker.
Yeah, only 309 down that right field line, 339 to the left field corner. It's going to be hard to get more than a double if you hit it into that corner, but anything toward right center, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's 2 long throws from that 421 mark, one from the outfielder to the cutoff man, and then the cutoff man to whichever base he's throwing to.
2-1 on Buster Posey. Posey batting .298. He's got 12 home runs this year. Although he is not homered in 120 at bats, the second longest home run drought of Buster Posey's career. His last homer, July 16th at San Diego. Greinke just missed that time, and it's 3-1.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Whew. Yep. Bill Welke behind the plate, missed that one right at the knees. From 0-1 to 3-1. Posey comes into tonight riding a 6-game hitting streak. The power's not been there, but he's been very productive. Otherwise, he's hitting better than .330 this month. With Brandon Crawford in the cleanup spot tonight, he's on deck. 3-2 to Buster Posey. Missed inside, a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Crawford. Brandon Crawford leads the Giants in RBIs. 278 this year with 12 homers. And he's got a hot bat right now. He's got 8 hits in his last 4 games. He homered here Saturday. That was the Giants' only run in a 3-1 loss to Atlanta. Strike 1.
Well, you can hear on our field mics, you can hear Zach Greinke grunting a little bit out there on that fastball at 92.
Cueto quick pitching right out of the gate in the top of the first. Greinke grunting in the home half. Zach Greinke just 1 win in 4 starts since his return from that oblique strain. Has never lost here at AT&T Park. 3-0 in 5 starts. Ahead of Crawford 1-2. Three 3-0 in 5 starts at AT&T. The 1.69 ERA has been tough to beat here. 8-1 in 12 career starts against the Giants. Most of those, of course, coming as a Dodger. Diamondbacks have the shift on for Crawford, who's down 1-2. Jammed him, popped it up, foul ground. Castillo. And just like Johnny Cueto in the top half of this inning, Greinke strands a 2-out walk, no score in San Francisco. Boy, Bob, Johnny Cueto already in that first inning quick pitching a lot.
Yeah, 5 quick pitches in the first inning. All takes, 3 for strikes, 2 for balls. Crack staff really working hard on this. Went back and looked at all the quick pitches, how many of them the Diamondbacks put into play, and what their batting average on balls in play was. Seemed to get a little better.
Yeah, the last 2 starts when Cueto does quick pitch, the Diamondbacks have put the ball into play with no trouble. Wellington Castillo swinging at the first pitch, fouls that one off, and it's 0-1 as we start the second. Welly at 276 and 12 homers. Had 4 RBIs in the win over the Reds on Sunday. In fact, Castillo had 3 games on that last homestand last week with at least 3 runs batted in. And again, he yanks that one foul, and it's 0-2. Are you a believer in BABIP, batting average on balls in play?
don't know. I think there's something to be said for it. I think other times it's a very easy excuse for pitchers to explain away bad outings.
Oh, just had bad luck, that's all.
Yeah, bad luck.
Already 3 strikeouts for Cueto.
That's Johnny Cueto changeup I mentioned. He throws a slider and a changeup. I feel his changeup is his best secondary pitch, although on a given night the slider can be really tough to handle as well.
Well, Cueto's gone 0-2 on 3 of the first 5 he's faced, and he's punched out all 3. Here's Jake Lamb now. There's a quick pitch, and he missed with it. 1-0. Lamb 260, 25 home runs, and 80 runs batted in.
You know, when this first started for Johnny Cueto, he would do it once in a while, and it always looked exactly the same as the quick pitch before. But he's even altering his quick pitches from time to time.
I don't recall seeing him do it as often on the very first pitch of every at bat like he has been tonight. In the air, left center for Span. 2 outs. Let's see what he does here with Yasmani Tomas. Yasmani 264 now with 27 home runs. A 3-run homer Sunday in the win over the Reds. And Yasmani with 10 homers and 20 RBIs in his last 20 games.
First pinch hit home run of Yasmani Tomas's career.
Another first pitch, quick pitch by Cueto, and again he missed with it. It's 1-0. There's back-to-back quick pitches. He faked that time like he was going to go into the shimmy and the shake, and then suddenly quick pitched, and he steals strike 1. Another one. It's like he starts off slow intentionally. Okay, I'm just going to go into my, and then suddenly throws the ball.
And you wonder at what point does he decide what he's going to do?
There it is again, 3 in a row. Missed with that one.
If the numbers weren't so good, you'd think Johnny Cueto was pitching in a beer league somewhere, you know, getting together with a bunch of old men. Let's play ball like we used to when we were kids. And this is the windup I would use.
It's like he's got a cab waiting out front. Yasmani Tomas and Cueto. Boom. This was earlier this year.
Middle of the plate fastball, way out of here to left center.
Cueto's first loss as a Giant came in that game against the Diamondbacks. Chris Owings would be next. 2 outs, 2-2 on Tomas. So far, Cueto has walked 1, struck out 3. Oh, shattered the bat. This has got a chance to drop in. But Panic goes back there and makes the Willie Mays over the shoulder catch. And Cueto works a 1-2-3 second. Bottom 2 from AT&T Park. They'll score the D-backs and the Giants. Johnny Tomas. This thing came to eat from Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, a little bit of a slider. Maybe a cut fastball on the inside part of the plate just chews up his bat. And what a nice catch by Joe Panik, running out into shallow center field over the shoulder.
Brandon Belt leads off the second for the Giants against Zach Greinke. Belt hitting .277. He leads the Giants with 14 home runs. This has not been a power hitting club this year. Diamondbacks have the shift on. There's a strike, 1-1. Here's Jake Lamb, the third baseman in the second base spot. Chris Owings all alone on the left-hand side. Gene Segura playing short right field. A ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Belt. It's been slow going for Belt during the second half of the year. He's hitting only .225 since the All-Star break. Just 4 home runs since July the 1st. And Zach Greinke gets his first strikeout, 1 down in the second. We're starting to look at this Giant lineup, and you think, Bob, about some of the lineups we've seen for Bruce Bochy this year with the injuries they have had. But suddenly now, Span, Pagan, Posey, Crawford, Belt, Pence, Panik. It looks more like the Giants we're used to seeing. And here is Hunter Pence. .273, 8 home runs. Pence has not played since last Thursday when he had to leave after 5 innings with a tight right hamstring. And that's the same hammy that put him on the DL this summer and kept him out for nearly 50 games. He missed almost all of June and July. Greinke's ahead 0-2.
Yeah, it looks like his black eye on the right side is nearly gone completely. Fouled a ball off the plate earlier this season, came right up and smacked him underneath the right eye. It nearly swelled shut, but he stayed in the ball game.
That's a foul ball down the third base line. At Penn, since he came back from the DL following that hamstring strain on July 30th, hasn't done a whole lot. He's hit .223 with 1 home run. He's all padded up, all kinds of gloves and pads and sleeves going on up there. Look out.
That wasn't even that close.
No, that was a Manny Ramirez type of dive.
That ball's nearly over the inside corner of the plate, but up. No question, it was up. Wasn't that close.
If you see where that back foot is, on the inside back corner of that right-hand batter's box. Breaking ball missed, and it's 2-2. Ground ball up the middle of base hit for Pence. So 1-out single. That's the first hit for the Giants against Zach Greinke. Well, here's another Giant regular back from injury. It's Joe Panik, the second baseman. .251 and 10 homers. Panik, statistically speaking, the hardest player in the league to strike out. He has walked more than he struck out this year, even though he's played in fewer than 100 games. Just coming off his first ever 2-homer game Sunday. They beat the Braves here. And there's the strike, 0-1. Panik missed most of July with a concussion. Took him a long time to rediscover his timing up there. Went through a 4-for-40 skid when he came off the DL, but he's picked it up very much so lately. Pence at first, 1 out. 1-1 on Panik.
Yeah, Panik got hit in the head by Matt Moore, pitching for Tampa Bay at the time. Now they're teammates. Matt Moore traded over here to the Giants on June 18th. Well, actually got hit on June 18th.
Yeah, Matt Moore traded to Tampa Bay for their third baseman, Matt Duffy. Rays have turned him into a shortstop, which was his natural position in the minor leagues. In the dirt, blocked by Castillo. He keeps Pence at first. 2-1 on Joe Panik.
Yeah, Hunter Pence has never been a big-time base stealer, and especially with that right hamstring injury, I doubt if you'll see him be very adventurous on the bases. He's yet to even attempt a stolen base this year. Very cautious on that ball that got briefly away from Wellington Castillo. Boy, he can wear a uniform, I'll tell you. Hunter Pence, his pants hiked up there above his knee. They keep getting shorter every time we play him.
He's a fashion faux pas. Greinke behind on the hot Panik. 3-1. Joe Panik last 16 games is hitting .340. Center field that backs up Pollock. AJ is there. Pence has to hustle back to first, and that's the second out.
That's an absolute necessity in this ballpark. A center fielder that can go get him, both to his right, his left, coming in, going back. A lot of room to cover out there, and AJ up to the task that time.
Eduardo Nunez, the new third baseman for the Giants. 285 and 14 home runs. Keep him off the bases. He's got 32 steals this year. Pence the runner at first and 2 outs. Nunez was the Minnesota Twins lone all-star representative this year. Giants picked him up at the trade deadline for a minor league pitcher, and then, as we mentioned, they traded Matt Duffy to Tampa Bay for Matt Moore. And so Nunez has taken Duffy's spot at third base. One and one on Eduardo Nunez. Nunez was an absolute butcher defensively at shortstop when he was with the Yankees. And he eventually settled in most of the time at third, both with Minnesota and here with the Giants. And he's been a little bit better defensively, but he is no Gold Glover down there, to be sure. But he's got a good bat and runs very well. Giants have a way of picking up guys who have huge flaws in their game and just sort of evening things out with them and getting the most out of whatever they do bring to the table. And in Nunez's case, that's the bat and the legs. Fastball missed inside, and again Greinke's well behind in the count. It's 3-1. The pitcher Cueto's on deck. Third 3-ball count already in the ball game for Zach Greinke. He's walked one, struck out one. Full count 3-2.
Boy, hitting coaches hate to see that. 2-0, 3-1, foul a ball off to your opposite field, way foul.
Not a lot of conviction in that swing in a hitter's count.
Either take that pitch, or if you're going to swing at it, drive it to the opposite field. That was like a protect swing in a 2-strike count. Full count 3-2. There goes Pence from first, and that one misses.
Second walk of the ball game by Zach Greinke. Now he'll work to the pitcher Cueto with 2 on and 2 out. Cueto, not much of a hitter, 6 for 55. Hence at second, Nunez at first. Greinke about to throw his 22nd pitch of this inning.
Matt Williams alerting Jake Lamb, back up a few steps, but watch his hands. If he slides up the bat, he might be trying to bunt for a base hit. And when you're hitting 109, you'll do anything to try to get on base.
Boy, A.J. Pollock in center suddenly shifts well over toward left center field. That's a fair ball. And that's the inning. Quick end of the drama there for Zach Greinke. No score through 2 here in San Francisco. Tools and fancy gadgets gives us a thing called launch angle, the angle at which the ball is launched off the bat. I think Cueto had a severe negative launch angle here.
I think so. He drives it straight down into the dirt, trickles about 6 inches out in front of home plate. Ball's just not carrying tonight.
Yeah, the wind suddenly blowing in. We're just kidding. It's actually gusting out to right center field, but it may have well have been on that Cueto swing. But he's retired 4 straight Diamondbacks, and Chris Owings leads off the third. There's a look at that wind blowing out to right center. Ships are passing in the night here along the shores of McCovey Cove. Gorgeous night for baseball. 1-0 on the Diamondbacks shortstop. CO batting .276. He's got 2 home runs. Nunez at third, right to him. 5 in a row retired by Cueto, 1 out. Well, Zach Greinke, a significantly better hitter than Johnny Cueto.
Oh, yeah. See how he deals with the shimmy and shake out there on the mound.
Cueto was 6 for 55. Greinke 10 for 43 at the plate. I like those kicks that Greinke's got on tonight. They look like saddle shoes. Folks at New Balance are getting their money's worth on these. Wear those things to the sock hop.
Yeah, you could. Do they make them in patent leather? Wear them to the prom.
Ouch. Sit on it, Potsy. 1-2. D-backs just 5-9 against the Giants this year, and 4 of those wins came during our 4-game sweep here in this ballpark. That was back in April. Giants have won 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two. Joe Panik at second base has that one. 2 outs. So the first time through the lineup, Cueto no hits, 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. 2 down for the leadoff man, Gene Segura.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in a Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Segura struck out to lead off the ball game. By Cueto, Panik is there. Johnny Cueto, his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. He set down 7 straight. No score at AT&T Park.
San Francisco, Todd Walsh, and guys, as we get into September, it was interesting to hear manager Chip Hale talking about the need for his players to be sprinting across the finish line. And one guy in particular they were talking about today was third baseman Jake Lamb, saying he's getting much more comfortable playing third base. Doesn't look like that guy anymore that doesn't want the ball hit to him. And for some reason, Chip looked right at me when he said that.
Uh-oh. Had you made a comment or something?
No, I think he was referring to me on many different levels. But
you move pretty well.
That's Bob's cue for lightning. Wow, you missed that one. Strike one to Bob Brenly. But the one thing I enjoyed the conversation to another point on what they're looking for in the offseason from Jake, and that is his agility at third. He's 6'3", 215, and they want to see the footwork and they want the body in motion and in unison going after those ground balls. That's a big part of it, isn't it, Bob?
Yes, it is, Lightning.
Okay,
there you go.
Just a little tardy.
Yeah.
A little makeup call there. You know, Jake Lamb's bat has got to be in this lineup somewhere, but Brandon Drury's looked very good at third base.
Yep.
So I think that's a long-term question that might not get answered until spring training next year over the course of next season.
And Chip brings up a good point about guys sprinting to the finish line. Not only Jake Lamb, but everybody on this roster. I mean, even if you've had a good year, if you finish the last last month stumbling toward the finish line, you have a real bad taste in your mouth going into the offseason. For guys that are having subpar seasons, you can finish strong and feel good about what you did in the month of September. For guys, you know, that have had a good year, you don't want to let it slip away in that last month.
Were you down there doing your running with the pitchers?
I was just going foul pole to foul pole real quick.
They hooked you up with a sweet pullover, though.
No, this is part of my tour to the Majestic facility, guys. When you get up at 6 a.m. on those off days.
Swag.
Did you? I mean, they wheeled out. I will tell you, they wheeled out when we were done into a conference room. If you can imagine this, almost a wall full of Diamondbacks jerseys and pullovers, and they just said, "Merry Christmas."
Oh, wow.
So when no one was looking, I grabbed as many as I could. I didn't think that I was a part of that.
I would have done, yeah. Broken bat roller for Span. Segura charges, got to hurry here, and he can't make the play. Slips right out of Gene's hand.
Just got it hard enough to get it past the pitcher, Zach Greinke, and at that point, Gene Segura knew it was going to be a rush. He had to hurry to get that ball over there, just didn't find the grip cleanly, trying to unload it as fast as possible.
E4, an error goes up on the board. Charge of the Diamondback second baseman. So Span is aboard to lead off the third. Here's Angel Pagan. Did you go in there with a shopping cart or something?
It was just a garment bag that I happened to bring with me. Empty.
Instincts just kicked in. It was like selling wedding dresses at Filene's basement.
It felt like a scene from Goodfellas.
Oh, that's right.
Exactly.
We're
Right down here. Right down here. Right, yeah, go right down there.
Yeah, down the corner.
Yeah, yeah. I know a guy.
Insulted him a little bit, you did. A little bit. Just a little bit. Angel Pagan popped up in his first at bat. Yeah, by the way, there's a good question from our truck as we await the 0-1 to Pagan. How many of those items are now up for sale in Todd's garage?
Oh, no. The real question is how many of them are wrapped, ready for December?
Still in their original. Oh, I see.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, look at this. Diamondbacks fans, friends, family.
See, I do that. I do that every year. Go down to the team store.
Nice. A discount?
Send like 5 boxes off to Boston.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look like a champion.
2-1.
Well, there's only 116 days until Christmas, so get your shopping done early.
He's already done.
3 hours, 56 minutes, and 36 seconds if you're counting on those 116 days. You're good, Bob. You calling me lightning?
Yeah. You earned it. You and Thunder together.
That's right.
On the pre and post game show.
It's like one of those buddy cop movies. Todd Walsh and Dan Marley star in Thunder and Lightning.
On the road.
Hope and Crosby. Walsh and Marley.
Heckle and Jekyll.
Greinke's already walked 2 behind on Pagan, 3-1. Zach Greinke, 50 pitches, only 28 for strikes. There goes Span from first. Pagan sends it right to Tomas, and he can't get there. He got a late jump, and it drops in. Yasmani very slow to get started that time. Kind of froze as it was coming off the bat, and it drops in front. First 2 have reached in the Giant third.
Little humpback liner kind of hit right at him out there in right field, and he just kind of froze in his tracks initially. Maybe a little fearful of a ball being hit over his head out near that triples alley. Came in, played it on a short hop, kept it in front. Giants have him at first and second, nobody out.
Well, work to do for Greinke. Buster Posey walked his first time up. Bernard Span at second, Angel Pagan at first. Posey showing bunts, and that's ball 1. Buster Posey hitting nearly .350 in his last 23 games. He's had a hot bat lately. Comes into tonight with a 6-game hitting streak.
Yeah, Buster Posey hasn't put down a sac bunt all season long. I don't think he was sacrificing there. I think he was thinking about bunting for a base hit with Jake Lamb way back at third base, trying to load him up for Brandon Crawford.
Giants leading RBI man is on deck. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Well,
you do not want the Giants to load the bases. As a team, they're hitting .315 with the bases loaded this year.
Timely hits.
Pretty sure Brandon Crawford is pacing the way.
Crawford's their leading RBI man.
Yeah, Brandon Crawford, a .444 hitter with the bases loaded. So get a double play ball right here.
Full count, 3-2. Already the 5th 3-ball count of the ball game for Greinke. He's not been especially sharp. 31 strikes and 25 balls.
There have been a few borderline pitches that didn't go his way, but his command, at least up to this point, is not what we're used to seeing from Zach Greinke.
Boy, that wind is absolutely howling out to right center field right now. Anything up in the air to right center is trouble. Here go the runners. It's on the ground, foul at third.
Pretty safe bet to send the runners with Buster Posey at the plate in a full count. Nobody out in the inning. He's another guy that's walked nearly as many times as he struck out this year. 51 walks, 53 strikeouts.
Out to the Cove. Runners on the move again, and again Posey fouls it off. Part of it is the Giants grinding out at bats like Posey's doing here. Part of it is Greinke's not superb command tonight, but this is already the 6th batter who's seen at least 6 pitches from Greinke tonight. Pagan had already started from first to second before Greinke turned and had Span back to the bag at second. Runners go with a pitch, and Posey gets it in the air, deep right center field. Playable for Pollock. Span at second, he'll head for third. And that's the first out. Brandon Crawford now. Crawford popped up in his first at bat tonight. See those 76 RBIs. That's second among all National League shortstops, behind only the Cubs' Addison Russell. Span at third, Pagan at first, 1 out. That's fouled off. Boy, Bob Yasmani Tomas, you were talking about not playing on the line in this ballpark, but with a left-hand hitter up there, he is as far off that line as you will ever see a right fielder. Look at all that room.
Once again, the theory is if a guy hits a ball down the right field line, if you hustle over there and pick it up, you're going to hold him to a double. But if he hits the ball in that gap in right center, it could be 3 bases, could be inside the park. So try to take away that big extra base hit that might do some serious damage.
All kinds of room down the line in right. 0-2 to Brandon Crawford.
All across the outfield, the Diamondbacks are swung around to left field.
Yeah.
Bourne playing pretty much straight up in left field. A.J. Pollock several steps over in the gap in left center. And as we mentioned, Tomas almost playing in the gap in right center field. Looking for that ground ball double play here. Get out of this inning unscathed. Crawford has grounded into 10 double plays this year. That's third on the Giants.
Goldie holding Pagan on the bag at first. Again, they go down and away and missed. He did not go. John Hirschbeck at third, and it's 2-2. Another long inning for Zach Greinke. 24th pitch of this third on the way. I believe that's a bunch of Mitch Haniger heads. Mitch is very popular.
Apparently. Wow.
Mitch is from San Jose. So this is practically home turf for him. Played at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Still 2-2 on Brandon Crawford. It's a long inning for Zach Greinke, now already at 65 pitches. 1 out in the third.
Bit of a flinch over there by Angel Pagan.
Pagan, when he takes his lead, leans towards second base and kind of stutter steps. So he's sort of asking for it already. There's that lean. There's the steps. Crawford gets it in the air, left center field. Bourne and Pollock. AJ has it. Here comes Span, and it's 1-0 Giants. Now Crawford, the Giants leader, drives in another run, and he had to work hard for that one. Brandon Belt struck out his first time up. Pagan 13 for 17 in his stolen base attempts this year. He was bothered by left hamstring trouble earlier in this season. 26 pitches in this inning for Greinke. He's only faced 4 batters. Oh, we talked about this on Sunday. The Diamondbacks got some terrific long relief in that series against the Reds from Vicente Campos. Archie Bradley went 6 innings on Sunday. Patrick Corbin worked 2 in relief, and with a day off yesterday, this bullpen is rested and ready to go for this road trip, and they'll need it tonight. 1-1 on the Giants' first baseman. D-backs have the shift on. They overload the right-hand side. Fastball missed. 2-1 on Brandon Belt. Greinke about to throw his 70th pitch, and he's not yet through 3.
Yeah, most pitchers will tell you this is a great environment to pitch in because it's cooler than most places you play at this time of the year. Doesn't take quite as much out of you. You don't sweat as much.
Fly ball right field. The Yasmani Tomas. Well, Greinke really had to work, but he gets away with only 1 run. We're through 3, 1-0 Giants.
The third to take a 1-0 lead. It's time to take a look back at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. We go back to 1916, the fastest professional 9-inning game ever played between Winston-Salem and Asheville, ended 2-1 in an astounding 31 minutes.
That's impossible. Come on.
Well, both teams had agreed to kind of play speed up rules because they had a train to catch after the ball game.
It was the good old days.
The 200 fans that were in attendance were very upset, so the owner agreed to refund their admission.
Michael Bourne slaps one to shortstop for Crawford. And that's 8 in a row set down by Johnny Cueto. We mentioned that the Dodgers lost 8-1 at Colorado last night, so the Giants only a game and a half back of LA for the NL West lead. And game 2 of that Dodger Rockies series at Coors has been rained out, so they'll play a split doubleheader tomorrow.
Lovely.
Rockies and the Dodgers. Strike one to A.J. Pollock, who walked his first time up.
We've had a number of half innings this year that have lasted 31 minutes.
You're right.
They played 9 innings.
I think we just did. Up the middle, Crawford can't get it. It's under the glove, and A.J.'s aboard. First hit for the Diamondbacks, a 1-out single in the 4th. Pollock has walked in single. That'll bring up Goldie. Goldie flied out in his first at bat against Cueto. A rare full off day Sunday in the win over the Reds for Paul Goldschmidt. Hard to figure that you have no Segura and Goldie in the starting lineup. No Tomas, although Tomas did come into the game midway through. And the Diamondbacks still put up 11 runs on 18 hits, beating Cincinnati in that game Sunday. Popped it up first base side for Belt. And he's got it in fair territory. 2 outs.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Here's some beef Wellington. A strikeout victim in his first at bat against Johnny Cueto. A.J. bluffs for second, then holds. Posey looks him back to the bag, and it's 1-0 on Castillo. Wellington last 20 games is hitting almost 340. 23 RBIs in his last 20 games. And 4 on Sunday against the Reds.
Well, for all the shimmy and shake you see from Johnny Cueto out of the windup, he unloads that ball quickly with a potential base stealer on over there at first.
Well, he has so much practice quick pitching.
Yeah.
Up the middle, that one's going to roll into center as well. A.J. Pollock will stop at second. A couple of singles against Cueto bring up Jake Lamb. Jake flying out to center his first time up. Two on and 2 out. Diamondbacks trailing 1-0. Well, Johnny Cueto is really hard to beat in this ballpark. Although the Diamondbacks, as we mentioned, did beat him here back in April. But look at this, 6-2 with a 2.63 ERA at AT&T Park this year. And he keeps it in the ballpark. He's given up just 3 home runs here all season.
A lot about this ballpark is in the pitcher's favor. Slow grass on the infield. The ball usually doesn't carry very well. You've got a lot of room to bail out in the outfield. If you can execute your pitches, get guys to hit the ball in the air to center or right center.
You see Pence out there. He's not nearly as far out in right center field as Tomas was earlier. He's a little closer to that line, even with a left-hand hitter up there. Jake ahead 3-0. Yasmani Tomas on deck. Second 3-0 count of the ball game for Cueto. Took a little something off on the 3-0, and it's 3-1 on Jake Lamb. Pollock at second, Castillo at first. Diamondbacks got to start grinding out some ABs against Cueto like the Giants have against Greinke. Segura, who struck out to lead off the ball game, had an 8-pitch at bat, and since then nobody has seen more than 4 pitches against Cueto in one AB until now. He's quick pitching and he's getting quick outs. This will get the runners started. Pollock from second, Castillo from first. There they go. And that's a called strike 3. Fourth strikeout for Johnny Cueto, who strands 2. And he keeps it a 1-0 Giants lead. Levi's Landing. There's some seating area back there behind the right field out-of-town scoreboard, and there's a lot more than seats. In fact, speaking of out-of-town scores, let's take a look at our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Mentioned that Dodger-Rocky game rained out at Coors. They'll play 2 tomorrow. The Padres 7-3 losers in Atlanta tonight. Hunter Pence will lead off the 4th against Zach Greinke. D-backs trail at 1-0. Pence singled his first time up, and there's strike 1.
Did you just get a text from the cooler?
Oh yeah, he's real proud of himself. He thinks he's off the hook.
Yeah, he took A.J. Pollock and Angel Pagan tonight, and they both have hits.
Boy, he won't get off the Pagan train. Cooler's been on him all year.
Just leave my boy Trey Turner alone.
Oh, dangerous.
Yeah, Zach Greinke hasn't been missing by much tonight, but just off the zone away, just below the zone down low, just off the plate inside.
He's getting ahead in counts too, which is weird. 12 of 15 first pitch strikes. But he has really labored here tonight. Hard hit ball to shortstop. CO knocks it down, can't recover. Pence is aboard. A base hit for Hunter Pence. He's 2 for 2.
That last bounce really came up as CO went into a slide that time. Once you bobble it, you're not going to get Hunter Pence at first base.
Joe Panik. Panik flied out to center in his first at bat. And there's another first pitch strike from Zach Greinke. It's 0-1. Panik hot right now, batting .340 in his last 16 games. He homered twice here Sunday against Atlanta. Center field for AJ. 1 out. Panik 0 for 2. That brings up Eduardo Nunez.
That's the second time since his return from the disabled list we've seen AJ turn the wrong way initially off the bat, but then recover and get right back into position to make the play. Kind of a slicing ball off the bat of Joe Panik that time, and he initially turned to his left, spun all the way around, and got to the spot to make the catch.
The third baseman Nunez walked in his first plate appearance. Greinke tonight has walked 2, struck out just 1. He's given up 3 hits, all singles. That wind is really swirling in right center. Sometimes it's blowing in. Now it's blowing in the actual opposite direction it was a moment ago. It's almost coming in from right center. Now it's going back out. That'll drive outfielders nuts.
Well, I think the same defensive rule holds true here at AT&T that it did over at Old Candlestick. Everybody chase everything because you never know where it's going to go.
Well, we know from history that A.J. Pollock in center field can go get him in this ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think any of us will forget this catch that inspired his bobblehead earlier this year off the bat of Jarrett Parker last season. One of the defensive plays of the year around the major leagues.
Tremendous catch. Look at the reaction of the Giants fans out there.
That's how you win a Gold Glove in center field like A.J. did last year. Over the head of Owings and into left, a base hit for Nunez. And the Giants will have 2 on and 1 out for the pitcher Johnny Cueto.
Well, as we documented in his first at bat, Johnny Cueto is not much of a hitter, but he is really good about putting sac bunts down. 9 times this season he's gotten the bunt down and moved runners up successfully.
9 times.
9 times.
Ed Rooney. 81 pitches already for Greinke, and he's only got a 1 out in the 4th. Third consecutive inning that Greinke has had at least 2 base runners around him. He has walked 2, given up 4 hits, but he's kept it a 1-0 ball game. Here comes Goldie from first. Pitch is way outside, and it's 1-0. Diamondbacks swept in this ballpark, a 4-game series in April. And then they were swept here by the Giants, a 3-game set just before the All-Star break. 12-5 in this ballpark since the start of last year. Once at third base side, Greinke goes to third, and they got him. They get the force on Pence. Nice stretch down there by Jake Lamb. Boy, Zach did not have a whole lot of time to spin and make that throw. And they cut down the lead man for the second out.
Well, what an athletic play by Zach Greinke. Getting off that mound, you see him angling toward the third base side as he came off the rubber. Scoop, spin, and throw all in one motion just in time to get Hunter Pence at third base. Probably getting some help from his first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, as well as Wellington Castillo, letting him know that you got time to get him at third.
So now it's Nunez at second, Cueto at first. 2 outs, and the hitter is Denard Span. 276 on the year. He's 0 for 2 tonight. This is the guy you really want to get. He's been a very effective hitter since the All-Star break. In fact, Span in his last 24 games has 36 hits. That's .353 in his last 24. Nunez at second and Cueto at first. Popped him up. Castillo will give it a look. He's got room behind the screen, and Zach Greinke once again wiggles off the hook. We are through 4. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 1-0. Holders, there's still time to renew your season seats for a chance to win lunch with Gracie and Matt Williams. You could win $1,000 in cash, a luxury watch courtesy of Ganem Jewelers, an all-inclusive vacation with airfare courtesy of American Airlines Vacations, and a whole lot more. Renew your season tickets now at dbacks.com/advantage. You can design your own season ticket plan. Diamondbacks will work with you on that. You can win valuable prizes as well. 2017 season tickets are on sale right now. Yasmani Tomas leads off the 5th against Johnny Cueto. Cueto so far has given up just 2 hits, both singles. He's walked 1, struck out 4. Tomas popped up in his first at bat tonight. Back in the starting lineup after he had that mid-back stiffness on the homestand last week. And he had a 3-run homer Sunday. Chip Hale was saying after the game the other day that he did not have Tomas in the starting lineup Sunday. But what Chip really liked was Tomas coming up to him before the game. And he said in very good English, telling Chip that he really wanted to play. He wanted in, but Chip said, now let's give it one more day. I'll use you over the course of the game. And he did, and he hit a home run. But Tomas was insisting his back was fine and he wants to be out there. And Chip, of course, wants him to play every day. But he He sort of liked the moxie from Tomas, who wanted in the lineup. He didn't want to sit out, at least to start.
Any manager will tell you you'd much prefer that attitude than when you tell a guy, I'm giving you a day off, and they say, oh, thank you, it's about time.
Well, the way Yasmani has swung the bat lately, 10 home runs in his last 20 games. You can see why he'd want to be in there, and it really started the turnaround for him on July 24th. He's got the highest slugging percentage in baseball since then. And he's worked at full against Cueto, 3-2. Since July 24th, Tomas has 14 home runs and 30 RBIs in 29 games. And no player in the major leagues has more homers over that span than Yasmani Tomas.
You cannot get any hotter than that.
How about that? More improved plate discipline by Yasmani Tomas. He works a leadoff walk.
A lot of teams that haven't seen Yasmani Tomas since earlier in the season, they're going to be surprised by his plate discipline. It's not there every at bat, but most at bats he's much more selective about when he swings that bat.
Well, there you see Brandon Belt, for instance. Now, Belt leads the Giants this year with 14 homers. Tomas has 14 homers since July 24th. Chris Owings grounded out his first time up. Ball one. Cueto at 60 pitches, 37 for strikes. Two and 0. Good start to this inning for the Diamondbacks. The pitcher Greinke on deck. That's 5 straight first pitch balls and 9 of the last 12 from Cueto. After he struck out 3 of the first 5 he faced in the ball game. Chris chops at that one, and it's 2-1. The Giants won 16 of Johnny Cueto's first 18 starts this year, but they've lost 5 of his last 8. Now, some of that has been offense. The run support's not been great, but he's not been nearly as dominant as he was in the first half of the year. And he's won just once in his last 8 starts. Missed again. 3-1 on Owings with Greinke on deck. Well, Tomas worked at full 3-2, had the leadoff walk. Now it's 3-1 on CO with a pitcher up next. There's a strike, and it's full 3-2. That's 3 consecutive 3-2 counts against Johnny Cueto. Lamb struck out to win the 4th with 2 on. Tomas walked to lead off the 5th. Now 3-2 on Owings. Starting to grind out some at bats.
Sometimes you have to change your approach against a pitcher. I mean, Johnny Cueto's got the reputation of being a strike thrower. He never walks anybody. So you go to the plate early in the ball game thinking if he's going to be around the plate, I'm going to attack. And that's what the Diamondbacks did that first time through the lineup. Everybody very aggressive with the exception of Gene Segura to start the game. Now the second time through being a little more patient, seeing a few more pitches, and Cueto pitching himself into some trouble here.
Yeah, 3 of the last 5 Diamondback hitters have reached. CO coming off a 3-hit day Sunday in the win over the Reds at Chase Field. Good at bat right here. Knocks it into left center, a base hit. And that one's going to roll all the way to the wall. Tomas will score easily, and Owings is headed for third. CO, a stand-up RBI triple, and it's 1-1. The 9th triple this season for Chris Owings, and he's tied the ball game. Oh, he hit it in the perfect spot. Great at bat by Chris Owings.
Now, 2 really good at bats to start this 5th inning. Tomas working that walk, and CO getting to the full count and just ripping a ball to the gap in left center. Nobody's going to get to that one. Once that ball rolls between the outfielders, it turns into a track meet on the bases.
Now they've got the go-ahead run at third base. Still nobody out in the inning. And it's the pitcher, Zach Greinke, infield, comes in for the Giants. There's a strike, 0-1.
Normally you'd think about the possibility of a suicide squeeze or a safety squeeze with the pitcher at the plate, but I think Zach Greinke swings the bat well enough with the Giants infield drawn in. Just go ahead and turn him loose here. No sign of a bunt on that first delivery.
Just inside, it's a ball and a strike to Greinke. Zach grounded out his first time up. Diamondbacks at bat second time through the order, much better. Big cut. Change up, and it's 1-2.
Well, Johnny Cueto is well aware that Zach Greinke is a better than average hitter. He throws him a change up there. Got him way out in front that time.
In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count, 3-2. Chris Owings' RBI triple is 9th of the year. Segura's on deck. It was also the Diamondbacks' 51st triple this year that extends the franchise record. 4th consecutive 3-2 count against Johnny Cueto. And he walked the pitcher.
Three of the highest quality at bats we've seen this season by Tomas, Owings, and the pitcher Zach Greinke working a walk. Well, you could almost tell by the way that Johnny Cueto reacted out there on the mound. He expects opposing hitters to do certain things depending on what pitch he throws in what location. And the Diamondbacks are laying off those borderline pitches that are dropping out of the zone and willing to take the walks.
Boy, their at bats the second time through have really been good. 5 of the last 7 Diamondback hitters have reached against Cueto. He's thrown 26 pitches to the last 4 D-backs hitters. A run is in, still nobody out. Owings at third, Greinke at first. Here's the leadoff man, Gene Segura, who's 0 for 2.
He's walked more guys in 4 innings plus in this ball game than he did in his 3 previous starts against the Diamondbacks.
Fastball inside, missed, and it's 1-0. I don't know what that was. Segura lifts it in the air, right center. Here comes Pence. It drops in front. Owings had to hold up. He'll come in and score to make it 2-1 Diamondbacks. The RBI single for Gene Segura. First 4 batters in the Arizona fifth have reached against Johnny Cueto.
Just dunked it out there in right field. Sounded like it got down near the trademark a little bit, which was a good thing because the ball didn't carry as far as Hunter Pence thought it was going to. He has to play it on a hop. Chris Owings can walk home from third base.
The inning continues against Bruce Bochy's ball club. Cueto at 75 pitches, 45 strikes. Here's Michael Bourne, 0 for 2. Shows bunt, drops it down. Posey's on it. He goes to third. And they get the force on Greinke. A.J. Pollock has walked and singled tonight. Segura at second, Bourne at first, 1 out. Each team now with 4 hits. AJ was talking after the game on Sunday about coming back to the big league level after so much time off, and he says it's been a little bit of an adjustment. He feels like the game is still a little fast right now. Doesn't feel like he's quite there yet. But so far tonight, a walk and a single, and he takes strike 1. Says there's just no way to simulate a big stadium and all the stuff in the background, everything around you. 25th pitch of this inning coming up from Johnny Cueto. 1-1.
I mentioned the cool temperatures here in the Bay Area. Johnny Cueto's working up a pretty good lather out there, though, this inning.
It's all that hair. He's gotten a lot less tricky the second and third time through the order now. A lot fewer antics. That was his first. He's had just 1 quick pitch since the second inning, in fact. Hairstyles catching on them.
Saw a lot of those wigs around the ballpark tonight. I hope they're wigs.
Two and two. Eighty pitches, 48 strikes. It's full. He's already walked 2 in this inning. This is his 4th 3-2 count of the 5th inning. Goldie on deck. He's gone full 3-2 to 5 of the last 7 D-backs hitters. Runners on the move, and AJ takes ball 4. And the bases are loaded. He did not go. Vic Carapazza says no down there at first. And Cueto has walked 3 in the inning. The bases are full for Goldie. It was ball 4.
Yeah, just off the plate away, they tried to throw that backdoor sinker that starts over in the left-handed batter's box and comes back to the corner, but AJ realized it was wide of the zone, took it for ball 4. Fans were a little confused. They didn't know what was going on there. It appeared like Gene Segura had been thrown out at third base.
You got Segura at third, Bourne at second, Pollock at first. 1 out, 2 runs in, and here's Goldie, who's 0 for 2. George Contos starts warming up in the Giant bullpen. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Paul Goldschmidt, a career .326 hitter in this ballpark. 8 home runs, 35 RBIs in 48 games at AT&T Park. Bases full of Diamondbacks. One and one.
Gave you the numbers earlier for the Giants with the bases loaded this year. .315 as a team. The Diamondbacks, on the other hand, hitting .219 with the bases loaded this year. Got time to turn that around, though, here in the last month.
He's about to throw his 32nd pitch of this 5th inning, and he's still only got 1 out.
Cueto is trying to find a better rhythm out there on the mound, taking a lot of time between pitches, working so quickly in the early part of the ball game, but really has slowed things down here.
Javier Lopez, the left-hander, joins Contos, the right-hander, in the Giant pen. The 1-1 to Goldie. And there for a strike, it's 1-2.
That's way outside.
Yeah. Yikes.
That's the same pitch he tried to get A.J. Pollock on when he walked him. That sinker that starts off the corner, works its way back, really close.
Bill Welke doesn't bite, and it's 2-2. Boy, I thought for sure he was going to ring him up there. Waves at that one, a fastball away. 2 down.
He's right back with a 4-seam fastball, nearly the same location, maybe a little bit higher, and Goldie just trying to put that ball in play, came up empty.
Well, you mentioned the poor batting average of the bases full. You just hate to waste an opportunity like this. It's up to Wellington Castillo, who has struck out in single. Welly 23 RBIs in his last 20 games. Bases are full of D-backs, 2 outs. The 8th batter against Cueto in this 5th inning. He's got the lefty Lopez warming up quickly down there with Lamb on deck. Segura is at third, Bourne at second, and Pollock at first. Excellent speed on the bases if Castillo can find a gap. Ball 1.
Seeing double-barreled action in that Giants bullpen in the 5th inning of a ball game. Think about a couple days from now when rosters expand, Bruce Bochy's going to have even more relief pitchers to play with. He'll start playing matchups in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, he will. That's something that's got to be fixed. Center field, Span coming in, it drops in. Segura scores. Here comes Bourne. Throw is cut off, and the Diamondbacks have a 4-1 lead. A 2-out, 2-run bloop single by Wellington Castillo, who continues to drive in runs.
Say hot beef. Boy, just a little soft line drive into center field. Span was closing ground quickly, but right out off the end of the bat, just got out there and died in front. With 2 outs in the inning, everybody on the move on contact. Michael Bourne scores easily from second base.
And sure enough, Bruce Bochy had his left-hander Lopez getting ready for Lamb, and that will end Johnny Cueto's night. He does not survive the 5th inning. Diamondbacks knock Cueto out of the ball game. They lead it 4-1. First loss as a Giant here at AT&T Park in April have now dealt him his shortest outing of the season. They knock him out in the 5th inning. And with 4 runs in, 2 on and 2 out, Javier Lopez comes in to face Jake Lamb. 9th man to bat in the Diamondback 5th. Jake has flying out, struck out 0 for 2. Ball 1.
You saw the numbers on Lopez. He's walked more than he struck out this year. A good patient at bat here by Jake Lamb. He's 0 for 4 lifetime against the Giants left-hander. Good time to turn it around right here.
Part of the Giants' problem since the All-Star break, and they've had a terrible record since the break, is just they're just not winning when their big guys are out there on the mound. They are just 8-17 since the break in games started by Cueto, Jeff Samardzija, and Madison Bumgarner. 8-17, and they're losing this one 4-1.
Well, that's hard to figure. I mean, I know they've had injuries. I know their offense has been sputtering somewhat.
Here's a drive to center field, and Art Span backing up just shy of the warning track, and he's got it. And that ends the inning. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 4 against Cueto. They lead it 4-1. up 4 and lead at 4-1, and the second half slump for the Giants may be continuing. 57-33 in the first half, 14-26 since the All-Star break.
Real lack of clutch hitting. You see the batting average with runners in scoring position way down in the second half of the season. The ERA up by better than half a run.
So now suddenly Zach Greinke, who was struggling to stay in the ball game and keep that pitch count down, has got a 4-1 lead as he starts the 5th inning against Angel Pagan. It'll be Pagan, Posey, Crawford, 2, 3, and 4 in the Giant 5th. First pitch strike from Greinke, and it's 0-1. Pagan singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Greinke jumps ahead 0-2. Angel Pagan, a much better hitter here at AT&T Park. 324. Just 255 on the road. That 324 home batting average is 5th best in the National League. Comes inside and missed. It's 1-2. Corey Guerin, the right-hander, now warming up at the Giant bullpen. Looks like he'll get the 6th. High above, courtside here at AT&T Park, right along the shores of McCovey Cove. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Todd Walsh with you. Looking for that shutdown inning from their opening day ace after putting up 4 in the top half of this 5th inning, with Greinke about to throw his 90th pitch. He's yet to have a 1-2-3 inning in this ball game tonight. Pagan reaches out and shoots it down the first base line. Goldie's got it. That's the first out. Buster Posey's walked and flied out tonight. Posey, an all-star this year for the 4th time in his career. He's got only 1 home run since the All-Star break, but he is batting .310 in the second half of the season. 90 pitches for Greinke, 54 strikes. First pitch swinging in the air, right center. Pollock and Tomas. It'll be AJ backing up. It's in that wind. And that's a quick second out for Greinke.
Hey fans, with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, you can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Brandon Crawford. He's driven in the only Giant run, a sacrifice fly his last time up. Crawford's 9th sac fly. That ties him with Matt Kemp for the most in the National League. He leads the Giants with 77 RBIs. Greinke trying to get a quick inning here. Only 7 pitches. He's already got 2 outs. George Contos has started throwing again in the Giant bullpen, so Bruce Bochy's got a couple of right-handers up down there. A ground ball off the side of the mound, kicks to Owings, and a nice quick 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Zach Greinke. We are through 5, a 10-pitch inning. It's 4-1 D-backs. High-speed highlights presented by Cox. Diamondbacks a 4-run fifth against Johnny Cueto. Cueto tonight goes only 4 2/3. He gave up 4 runs on 5 hits and he walked 4.
Yeah, this is a strange game. You know, the Diamondbacks early on being very aggressive against Cueto. The second time through the order, very patient, working deep at bats, making him throw a lot of pitches. Just kind of pulled the pace of the game into that first base dugout.
New pitcher for the Giants, the right-hander George Contos. Opponents are batting .429 against Contos in his last 5 games, so he's been knocked around a little bit lately, but still for the year a good 2.54 ERA. As Manny Tomas, who walked to lead off that long 5th inning and scored a run, leads off the 6th. First pitch swinging. Hits it in the air. Shallow left. Crawford drifting out there from shortstop, and he's got it with Pagan right in his back pocket. 1 pitch, 1 out for Contos. That'll bring up Chris Owings, who had an RBI triple and scored a run in that D-backs 5th. So CO now 9 triples on the year. That ties him with Brandon Crawford. And the Phillies' Cesar Hernandez for the most of the major leagues. You hear that wind? It is howling out to right center right now. Just gusting.
I heard it every day from April 1st until September 1st.
I thought maybe you'd be sort of immune to it right now.
No. I can hear that wind blowing in my ears when I sleep at night.
After all those years at the stick.
Yeah, we didn't quite draw the kind of crowds they have here at AT&T Park. 41,000 plus tonight. You could hear the flags whipping in the wind because there was no noise in the ballpark.
Everyone was too cold to talk.
Yeah, all bundled up.
Can't clap when you have mittens on and a scarf. They're bundled up here, although it's a lovely evening. They're always ready for the chilly air this time of year here in this ballpark. Zach Greinke out in the on-deck circle. Owings sounded like he may have broken his bat. That one is snared by Pagan, who makes a nice sliding grab in left field. Angel Pagan takes a base hit away from Chris Owings.
I think you're right. It did sound like CO broke his bat. Thought it might drop in front of Pagan, but he closes ground quickly, gets that glove underneath the ball, and then slides on that damp turf out there in left field.
His first season in left field after being a center fielder his entire career. That was one of the concerns going into this year for the Giants after they signed Denard Span. How would Pagan take no longer being not just the center fielder, but he's no longer the leadoff man either. And it's worked out. 2 down for Greinke.
Watching Pagan play center field last year, it looked like it's about time for him to move to the corner. He played a very uninspired defense in center field for the Giants last year.
Well, he's had so many injuries over the recent couple of seasons. Greinke knocks that into center field, a 2-out single. So Zach tonight at the plate, a walk and a base hit. That'll bring up Gene Segura.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Gene, an RBI single and a run scored as part of that 4-run D-backs 5th against Cueto. He's 1 for 3.
Slight delay while Zach Greinke puts on the jacket down there at first base.
Got the running gloves.
Got the running gloves, holding those batting gloves in his hand. Didn't see anybody putting on jackets on our last road trip.
Haven't seen that since April. Here's a dumb question, but why stop now? Can you be a non-pitcher and wear a jacket on the bases?
That's a good question. I don't know that anybody's ever tried it. I don't know why you couldn't.
Shortstop or somebody's out there. You know, it's a little chilly. I'd like a jacket, please.
Yeah, just a light jacket. I mean, there's no competitive advantage to wearing a jacket on the bases. Of course,
fans get to wear it.
Yeah.
Oh, and 2 on Gene Segura. Our crack research team, led by Bo, is on the case. See if there's something in the rule book that prohibits that. We're a very fashion-forward broadcast. We like to be on top of these things. Oh, Greinke's going. He holds up. Segura reaches out and pokes it into right center. Zach went about halfway and changed his mind. And Canto strands the 2-out single. Diamondbacks lead the Giants 4-1.
Chip Hale, manager of the Diamondbacks, and Stephen Bob, as we mentioned just prior to first pitch. And on Diamondbacks Live, the TBD, the to-be-determined starter tomorrow, is now officially named, and that is Shelby Miller, who makes his way back from AAA Reno. I love what Chip said today, and you talk about all the accounts of Shelby and his performance with the Reno Aces, that his mechanics are improved, the breaking ball is better, and that whole mound presence thing. But when I started to throw the mound presence topic at Chip, he just interrupted me and said he has to make pitches. I don't care how he acts when he gets in and out of trouble or gets a certain confidence on the mound. The bottom line is make the pitches, and that's what he's been doing at the AAA level, so we'll see him here tomorrow.
And Todd, this is a perfect time for him to come back and start, because I don't think you wanted to bring him back at home. This is just my speculation, because if it doesn't go well, that just adds to the narrative. Sure. You don't want to bring him back in Colorado for obvious reasons. This is a great pitcher's park. It's a good, Bob, it would seem it's a good sort of reinitiation for Shelby Miller.
That's a real good way to put it. Good pitcher's park here against a team that's maybe not swinging the bats quite as well as they did earlier this season. And that mound presence and executing pitches. Which one comes first? The old chicken and the egg. Does the confidence come so you can pound that strike zone the way we know Shelby can? Or do you have to pound the strike zone first and then develop the mound presence? I like to see both of them tomorrow.
Chip didn't shy away from that narrative, Steve, about the whole Coors Field thing, but he was quick to point out he's going to pitch against the Giants and against the Dodgers in a pennant race on the road.
Well, it would have been nonsensical to bring him back at Coors Field. I mean, that's just silly. Into the shift. Segura is right there, and Belt is retired. 5 in a row set down by Greinke. Randall Delgado and Edwin Escobar have started throwing the Diamondback bullpen with Greinke right at 100 pitches. Here's Pence, who is 2 for 2, a pair of singles. Pence was 4 for 26 against Greinke coming into the ball game, but he's 2 for 2 tonight. I think it's been good for Shelby to be down there for a while just to clear his head, because my own very limited interpretation is that it got between his ears. He got here, and I heard him do half a dozen interviews where he was asked, wow, we traded a lot of guys to get you. You must be really good. Are you worth it? That had to sink in there at some point during spring training. And he never did seem to get on track. 100 pitches from Greinke now, 60 strikes, and it's 1-1.
And it's just human nature. When things are going poorly, you try to fix them. Okay, what's wrong? I must be doing something wrong mechanically. Now you start messing with your delivery. And it's uncomfortable. It's not something you're used to. You can't repeat that delivery time and time and time again. And I think you're right, going down to the minor leagues and leaving it very much open-ended. You're going to go down there and stay there until you figure it out.
Clear your head.
They did say that maybe he got knocked around in his last start because he started to hear the drum beat that he was going to get recalled and may have gotten ahead of himself. But I think in the large picture, you guys are right. The numbers bear it out.
This is lifted in the air. Long run for Tomas. Here comes Yasmani, and it drops in front of him. He can't get there. Pence is in at second. A one-out double. 16th double for Hunter Pence. Boy, that ball hung up in the air for so long. By the time it dropped, he was almost standing at second base anyway.
Yeah, that wind that's been consistently blowing out to right center kept that ball in fair territory. Pretty good cutter away that time from Zach Greinke. Pence just sticks the bat out there, gets a piece of it.
And we've mentioned how far off that line Tomas plays when he's really standing in right center field. So he had a long run to get to that one. Hunter Pence is 3 for 3. The rest of the Giants are 2 for 18. Here's Panik, who's 0 for 2. So Shelby Miller and Matt Moore. Don't forget that's a day game tomorrow, fans. A 12:45 first pitch, so it's lunch with the D-backs. Diamondback Live pregame show at noon on Fox Sports Arizona. Shelby Miller and Matt Moore. Off day on Thursday, then 3 against the Rockies at Colorado starting on Friday. We'll see Jorge De La Rosa, Chad Bettis, and John Gray in that series at Coors. Also, Todd Walsh tells us that with Shelby Miller returning to the rotation, that means Zach Godley goes back to the bullpen. So you get some more length and depth back there.
You hope you don't need it, but in the event Shelby has a short one tomorrow or somebody in Colorado has a short one, it's always good to have somebody down there in the pen that can eat up some innings.
1-1 on Joe Panik. Pence at second, 1 out. Delgado and Escobar continue warming up for the Diamondbacks. Top step of the Giant dugout. Connor Gillespie. Helmet on, bat in hand. He would hit for the pitcher. Corey Guerin, the only Giant warming up in the bullpen. So it looks like if they do have to hit for Contos, that Guerin would get to 7th. Fly ball, deep right center. Tomas won't get there. That one hop the fence, and it's going to be a double. Pence will score to make it 4-2. The RBI for Panik. No chance for Tomas. That carried all the way to that 421 mark. Got up in that wind.
That got up into the fans after it bounced off the warning track out there in right center field. Oh, Joe Panik with a nice quick swing, let that ball get really deep in the hitting zone, and you'll see the Giants fans touch the ball right there.
Here comes Chip Hale. Looks like that might be it for Greinke. You've got Nunez, the number 8 hitter, coming up the pitcher's spot on deck with Gillespie ready to hit for him. I think Greinke can finish this inning, and he's going to get the opportunity at 106 pitches.
Now, Nunez has walked and singled in this ball game. You may remember his last at bat. He hit a hard single into left field back in that 4th inning. And you know, sometimes when the next hitter is a guy that's made some noise against your pitcher, you want to go out there and make sure he knows exactly what he's doing.
Bruce Bochy would like to talk to Bill Welke. Hunter Strickland has joined Corey Guerin in the Giant bullpen. Not sure what's going on here.
I mean, a manager's allowed to make a trip to the mound. Doesn't have to be the pitching coach just to go out there and talk. And that was the first meeting in this inning, so I don't see what the argument is.
So here's Nunez, who has walked and singled. Panic at second, still just 1 out and 1 run in. Hard to third. Jake Lamb is there. Looks panic back to the bag and throws out Nunez. Connor Gillespie will hit for the pitcher.
Gillespie with 40 pinch hit at bats this season. He's 9 for 40 off Bruce Bochy's bench.
That includes 2 pinch hit home runs. Well, this is interesting. Leadoff man Span is due up next, but Jared Parker is out in the on-deck circle. So it's Greinke and Gillespie. 2 outs, panic at second. First pitch swinging, chops it to first. Goldie's there, and Greinke is out of the inning. But the Giants get 1. We'll head to the 7th. D-backs lead at 4-2. Diamondbacks have a 4-2 lead over the Giants. Football has returned, fans, and so is Brad Sesmat's Football AZ. It's the show with unprecedented coverage of professional college and high school football with special guests, NAU football coach Jerome Sowers, NFL senior fantasy analyst Michael Fabiano, and ASU wide receiver N'Keal Harry, tonight at 11 right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Corey Guerin, the new pitcher. His 47th appearance, an ERA just under 5. He has given up 12 runs in 5 1/3 over his last 7 appearances after missing 34 games with a right shoulder strain.
Get a runner on there. Unless he has changed something in his delivery to home plate out of the stretch, Corey Guerin is a guy that you can definitely run on.
Well, Denard Span, Jared Parker was ready to pinch hit for him in the last half inning. Span has come out of the game, and Gorkys Hernandez has replaced Span in center. And Hernandez will bat in the leadoff spot. So maybe something's wrong with Denard Span. Michael Bourne leads off the 7th. He's 0 for 3.
He caught that fly ball to end the top half of the 6th inning off the bat of Gene Segura, but I didn't really see anything on the play.
No. Nunez creeping in from third. That's a chop foul roller. By the way, we got to the bottom of the jacket thing.
Oh, good.
I'd hate to leave you hanging there, but our outstanding researcher Bo says that the pitcher is the only guy who can wear a jacket on the bases. And in fact, there was once a game where Doc Ellis, the great Pirate and Yankee pitcher, was inserted into a game midway through as a pinch runner. And because he's a pitcher, he went out there with the jacket and he was told, no, you're not a pitcher, you're a pinch runner. You have to take the jacket off. So it's only the pitcher who can wear a jacket on the bases. 0-2 to Bourne. Slaps that one foul. Dave Righetti, who's been the pitching coach here for the last century, he was quoted in a Wall Street Journal piece as saying, you're an idiot if you don't wear the jacket, especially in this ballpark. You're an idiot. You can wear it, keep the arm warm. Doesn't matter how it looks.
I played winter ball one year with a guy by the name of Manny Sarmiento.
Reds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he took one of the jackets and actually removed the right sleeve from the jacket and attached elastic and Velcro. So he could just wear the sleeve over his shoulder and his right arm and, kind of strap it around his upper body and didn't have to wear the entire jacket.
Looked like RoboCop or something.
I think he tried to market that to very little success.
Apparently. Well, the Jon Snow of the National League West, Corey Garrett, is out there. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Got that funky set position. And then crossfire from the right hand side. Looks like, as we said, he's leaning against a lamppost like Marlena Dietrich.
Yeah, he's got a couple of hiccups in his delivery too, much like Silvino Bracho. Just doesn't come up into a set position immediately after getting his sign. It takes him a while to get up there, tapping his toe and playing with his glove. He's got nasty stuff from that low 3/4 delivery, though. Fastball looks like a corkscrew when it comes in there. Has a lot of sinking, tailing action. Just the opposite of the slider that he throws from that low arm angle.
He has really struggled lately. Opponents 12 for their last 29 against him. And he's gone full to the leadoff man Bourne in the 7th. Each team with 6 hits. D-backs lead at 4-2. Michael coming off a 3-hit game Sunday in the win over the Reds. Chops that into the ground. Belt will take it himself. Well, A.J. Pollock had 3 hits Sunday against Cincinnati, and he's had another good night tonight. 2 walks and a single. Randall Delgado had stopped warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Now Randall making the slow walk back out there. You saw Zach Greinke in the Diamondback dugout going over things with Mike Butcher after Greinke got out of that 6th inning. And Delgado has been, without question, the Diamondbacks' most effective relief pitcher as of late. Fly ball left center. Here it comes, and there it goes. A.J. Pollock drops it in. A.J.'s reached base safely all 4 times he's been up there. 2 walks, 2 singles.
Hey fans, the D-backs will face these Giants again next weekend at home, September 9th through the 11th. You can get a ticket to any of the D-backs Giants games for just $25 with the D-backs value pack. The value pack includes a lower level bleacher ticket, a Subway sandwich, and a Pepsi. and it's available for every game. Visit dbacks.com/value.
Goldie 0 for 3. Struck out with the bases loaded against Cueto his last time up.
If you watch Corey Guerin, he just ever so slightly, once he finally comes up into a set position, after all the toe tapping and glove wiggling, there's just the slightest movement forward with his upper body before he lifts that leg and throws the pitch to home plate. And Dave McKay discovered that very early on this season.
There goes AJ. Got a big jump. Posey can't get a grip on the baseball, and Pollock has his 3rd stolen base of the year.
I am amazed that we're almost to September 1st and Corey Guerin is still doing that. That's something that really needs to be corrected at some point. The jump is just ridiculous. Buster Posey has no chance. Boy, that's something that teams, when they get the right guys on base, everybody's going to run against Corey Guerin.
First base now open. Here's the downside of this, as they'll give Goldie the free pass and work to Wellington Castillo.
Well, under normal circumstances, I'd agree with you, but Goldie hasn't looked particularly good in his first 3 at bats tonight. And Wellington Castillo has 2 hits and 2 runs driven in.
Behind Castillo, you've got Jake Lamb, and the lefty Will Smith, who they picked up from Milwaukee, is warming up in the Giant bullpen. Yeah, Wellington 2 singles. He's knocked in 2. Boy, counting tonight, last 21 games, he's got 25 RBIs. Pollock at second, Goldie at first, 1 out.
Right, don't rule out a double steal here.
Oh yeah.
Goldie's really good about watching the lead runner in front of him, and if A.J. Pollock breaks for 3rd, Goldie will break for 2nd.
Chip Hale was talking about that after A.J. stole 3rd Sunday against the Reds. He's got a special knack for stealing 3rd base, he thinks. Something that A.J. does extremely well. He says every time A.J. gets on second with 3rd base open, he almost expects him to take off. That's how good he is at that.
Yeah, Joe Panik is trying to shorten up that lead a little bit, coming over from his 2nd base position, trying to stay a little closer to the bag to try to hold A.J. on out there.
Boy, both guys are jumping back and forth, Pollock and Panik. Castillo hits it on the ground to Nunez, and they turn the double play. And the Diamondback threat. Bottom 7 on the way. D-backs lead the Giants 4-2. Francisco Diamondbacks lead the Giants 4-2. Time for a look at our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms strikeout leaders for each team. And for the Diamondbacks, you know that's Robbie Ray, 181 now, becoming one of the best left-handers in the league. And here's another pretty good lefty, Mad Bum. All right, Dan. 207.
200 punch-outs not out of the question for Robbie Ray by the end of the season with the way he's been racking them up lately.
4 or 5 more starts left at least. Here's Randall Delgado, your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. 61 appearances and a 404. He has been the D-backs' best relief option for much of this month. He worked a scoreless inning Friday against the Reds. Gorkys Hernandez, the new center fielder, leads off the 7th, and there's a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Hernandez just 5 games with the Giants this year. He's hitting 182. Up with San Francisco after they lost Gregor Blanco. He's on the DL with a right shoulder injury. Run up for the first time this season Wednesday. He spent all of the year at AAA Sacramento, Gorkys Hernandez, and was doing pretty well there. 302 with 8 home runs. Gorkys Hernandez played 8 games with the Pirates last year, was 0 for 5. Signed a minor league deal with the Giants, and when he came up last week, he singled in his first game as a Giant. And it was his first major league hit since 2012 when he was with the Miami Marlins. So it had been a while, 4 years. Randall Delgado gets him to chase that one. And there's the strikeout for Randall, 1 down. Boy, Randall Delgado has been really good lately. He has now gone 13 straight appearances without giving up an earned run. 11 strikeouts against only 3 walks in his last 11 innings of work. He strikes out Hernandez. Now he'll deal to Angel Pagan. Pagan singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Edwin Escobar and Jake Barrett walking down to the Diamondback bullpen. They'll start throwing. Hunter Strickland has started warming up again in the Giant pen. 1-1 on Pagan. Boy, bad swing by Pagan that time, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, Pagan's a guy that's had some success against Randall Delgado in the past. 7 for 17 lifetime with 3 doubles.
Pagan just 3 for his last 22 up there. Smacks that one foul. Giants and Diamondbacks. We're in the 7th. It's 4-2 D-backs, all 4 runs coming in the 5th inning against Johnny Cueto, who tonight lasted only 4 2/3. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits and walked 4. High strike missed it. It's 2-2. Padres lost in Atlanta today, 7-3. Dodgers and Rockies rained out at Coors. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. We'll be in Colorado starting on Friday for the first of 3. That's out of play.
The governor assured me that we're going to have good weather in Colorado.
Oh, well, then it's done. Write it down in ink. The governor is never wrong on a weather forecast. Even when you're convinced it's going to rain, you look around, black skies, he'll go, nah, we're fine.
We're fine.
Especially he is the master of that Midwest weather too. You get in the Midwest, he's got a perfect record. Colorado, you never know. It's going to be blue skies for batting practice, then a tornado at 5:30.
Yeah, you leave the hotel to walk to the ballpark, and you walk a block and it's hot and muggy. You walk another block and you're getting wet because it's raining. By the time you get to the ballpark, it's sunny again.
And then the tarp comes out on the field and batting practice is washed out. 3-2 to Pagan. Oh, that's trouble. Deep to right center, and it's going to get to the wall. Angel Pagan, who's twice missed some time with a hamstring problem, jogs into second with a double, his 21st.
Healthy Angel Pagan, that's probably a triple. He drives this ball out there just to the right or straight away center field. It kind of got hung up underneath the fence. It takes AJ a minute or two to dig it out. Angel Pagan just kind of jogging to first. He knows that's a double. He's not going to try to stretch it into a triple.
Pagan now at 35. So the Giants, with one out in the seventh, get the tying run to the plate, and it's Buster Posey. He has walked and twice flying out to center. He's 0 for 2. Posey has not homered in 122 at bats. Last home run July 16th. Zach Greinke pitched 6 innings tonight, kept the Giants to 2 runs. Here's something we sort of watched go under the radar. He only had 1 strikeout tonight, Zach Greinke. Just the 15th career start in which Zach Greinke has had 1 or fewer strikeouts. Last time was May 5th, 2014. Escobar, the lefty, Barrett, the right-hander. 2-0 on Buster Posey. Crawford, who's already knocked in 1 giant run, is on deck.
We saw the way Pagan ran from home plate to second base on that ball out there near Triple's alley. It might take a very well-placed base hit to score him from second base.
They walked him. Not the worst thing ever. But now you got to deal with Brandon Crawford. Chip Hale has a lefty ready in Escobar. And he's going to go to Edwin Escobar right here. D-backs lead at 4-2, but the Giants threaten in the 7th. Back in a moment. 4-2 in the 7th inning. Los D-backs Hispanic Heritage Day fans is coming up next Saturday, September 10th. It's presented by Bud Light. Arrive early for the APS Street Festival. That's from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. You'll have a beer garden, live music, inflatables for the kids, and a whole lot more. And the first 20,000 fans get the Los D-backs soccer jersey. That's courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, visit dbacks.com, and we'll see you at Chase Field Saturday, September 10th. The left-hander Edwin Escobar, 9 appearances this year, the last 7 in relief. He was the winning pitcher in Friday's extra innings win over the Reds. He worked a scoreless 11th, got his first major league win. He inherits a bit of a mess. Angel Pagan at second, Buster Posey at first, 1 out. And the batter is Brandon Crawford. Good fastball from Escobar. 0-1. Crawford used to never hit lefties. That has changed in recent years.
He's hitting for a higher average against left-handers this year than righties.
He was put on notice. There was a while where they thought they'd have to sit him against left-handers. Now he's one of their best hitters. Can't check his swing, and Escobar jumps ahead 0-2. Crawford drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2. He's got 8 hits in his last 4 games. He homered here on Saturday against Atlanta. Giants tonight 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. On the ground is Segura. Owings for 1. And they roll it. Edwin Escobar gets the double play. And he gets the Diamondbacks out of the 7th. It's 4-2 D-backs. We'll head to the 8th. The D-backs really needed it against the Giants' leading RBI man. That's our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game. Segura to Owings, he turns it, and Escobar gets the Diamondbacks out of a jam. Zach Greinke tonight went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, 1 was earned on 6 hits. He walked 2, struck out 1. He's in line for the win as we start the 8th. It's Hunter Strickland, one of the busiest pitchers in the National League, his 61st appearance and a 2.65 ERA. Jake Lamb will lead it off. Jake tonight 0 for 3. Lamb, Tomas, Owings 6, 7, and 8 in the Arizona 8th. Each team with 7 hits. Strickland throws hard, 99-mile-an-hour fastball is strike 1. Jake trying to get it going. He's hitting 196 since the All-Star break. There's a fly ball the other way. Angel Pagan has it. That's the first out in the 8th inning. So far, we've seen out of the Diamondback bullpen Randall Delgado and Edwin Escobar. Enrique Burgos is down there throwing now, so it looks like Burgos will get the 8th.
And anticipating everything goes okay in the 8th, you would assume that it would be then Daniel Hudson in the 9th.
We saw Jake Barrett up earlier, but Huddy seems to have settled into that role, at least for the moment. And although he blew the save the other night against the Reds. Tomas, who walked and scored in the 5th, looks at ball 1. Big pitch by Edwin Escobar. One and one on Yasmani. D-backs have dropped 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, so this would be a big win tonight. Trying to snap the mojo against these Giants. Last time we were here was the final 3 games before the All-Star break, and the Diamondbacks were swept. Remember Madison Bumgarner on that Sunday, that network game, almost threw a no-hitter. Just 5 games left this season against the Giants. A quick 2-game stop here. And then 3 at Chase Field beginning September 9th. 2-2 on Tomas. Boy, it's amazing to watch him take pitches that only weeks ago he would have swung wildly at and missed. He has come a long way. It's a roller to shortstop for Crawford. 2 outs. Chris Owings had an RBI triple and scored a run as part of that 4-run D-backs 5th. Johnny Cueto tonight lasted only 4 2/3. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits and walked 4. Diamondbacks handed Cueto his first Giants loss at this ballpark back in April. Chance to do it again here tonight. Ricky Weeks Jr. in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot is up next, and there's strike 1. So you've got Weeks Jr. on deck and Burgos warming up in the bullpen.
I talk all the time about a predictable fastball count. This would appear to be one against Hunter Strickland. Fastball is his best pitch by far, the pitch he could command the best. Doesn't want to go to 3-1. It was laser beam at 98, outer third of the plate.
Just dotted it, and it's 2-2. Same two teams tomorrow afternoon. A 12:45 first pitch. Seagulls have just arrived. Shelby Miller will make that start for the Diamondbacks against new giant Matt Moore. Seagulls have already missed Randall Delgado. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had a bird drop a chicken tender on his head a few years ago. 2-2 to Chris Owings. Tried that fastball again, but missed at 99, and it's a full count, 3-2. Went back to that same spot with the same pitch.
Comes another one. I don't know where this version of the Giants, where the players all live, but back when I played with the Giants, we all lived down the peninsula. After a night game like this, we'd have about 1,500 people, so it would take, maybe 25 minutes or half an hour to get home. But coming back for the early day game the next day, you get stuck in that morning rush hour traffic. Oh, Lord. Well, at least a handful of times, a bunch of us just stayed at Candlestick Park, slept in the trainer's room.
Got to deal with those bridges here. I hear folks all the time in our booth. Oh, what? I got to get going. I got the bridge traffic.
Yep.
Let's go. Shar back and forth all the time, right? Yeah. Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Chris Owings had a great at-bat against Cueto in the 5th, and this one against Strickland in the 8th. He's right there too. He is really battling. Remember CO last year when he was trying to come back from that shoulder operation? The pitch recognition wasn't there. He swung at a lot of pitches out of the zone. Not this year, though. He has really been able to extend these at-bats.
Strickland just going to stick with that fastball outside. Chewed off a little more of the plate that time. That's what you hope for as a hitter, that he makes a mistake and leaves something over the middle of the plate where you can drive it.
Pitch number 11 to Chris Owings on the way.
Because let's be honest, if Strickland keeps throwing that 99-mile-an-hour fastball right there on the outside corner, that's all you can do with it. Foul it off.
4 straight foul balls by CO. Gets it in the air, deep right center field. Hernandez is out there, and he runs it down. Bottom 8th coming up. It's 4-2 Diamondbacks.
Hold on to that feeling.
Yes, somebody should write a song about that and play it before the bottom of the 8th inning every time. Well, you've got a left-hander, Brandon Belt, leading off the bottom of the 8th. So Edwin Escobar, who got that big out to end the 7th, is back out there. Enrique Burgos still warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Sergio Romo has started throwing for the Giants. Belt lifts this in the air, left field. Michael Bourne's out there, drifting near the line. And boy, Edwin Escobar has the magic touch tonight. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Same two teams tomorrow. Don't forget, fans, a day game tomorrow. It's lunch with the Diamondbacks. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at noon on Fox Sports Arizona. It's the return of Shelby Miller. He's up against one of the newest Giants, Matt Moore, the former Tampa Bay Ray. 12:45 first pitch. Diamondback Live pregame show at noon. Chip Hale is going to let Escobar face the right-hand hitting Hunter Pence with Burgos up and ready in the bullpen. Hunter Pence 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double. He scored a run, and there's strike one.
Escobar with a little bit of a quick pitch of his own that time.
It's working. He got a critical double play ball to end the 7th against Brandon Crawford. Got Belt to fly out on one pitch. Now ahead of Pence 0-2. Missed inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Patrick Corbin will go down to the bullpen. He'll join Enrique Burgos. Checking in with Garvin Alston. There's no phone down there, right? I mean, you want to relay a message. Patrick seemed to have a message for Garv. I mean, you just send a guy to, hey, go tell him blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
right? It's just down the road.
There is a phone apparently, but yeah, most teams, and I know when we were here, I was managing, we just had runners.
Yeah.
Hey, go down there and tell him if he gets this lefty, he's going to stay in and face Pence. If the lefty gets on, we're going to go to the bullpen. And you just hope the message doesn't get screwed up on the way down to the bullpen.
3-2 to Hunter Pence.
Well, that phone we showed you is way down in the right field corner there. They used to have an area down there where the players could sit. That one for the Giants side right behind the mound where the bullpen coach would be standing as Romo warms up.
I mean, it's only about 50 feet down there. You just 50, 60 feet, just walk down. Now there's the setup. Now that couldn't be less convenient.
No.
I mean, Romo's phone is literally right next to the pitcher's mound out there, but that's in the deep right field corner. Well, he just missed. Well, Chip Hale let Escobar face the right-hander, and it's a 1-out walk. Now the Giants will get the tying run to the plate. But here's the reason why he left Escobar in. You've got the left-hand hitting Joe Panik coming up. Panik had an RBI double his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Keep in mind, this guy is red hot right now. Homered twice on Sunday. He's the tying run at the plate with a 1-out. Panik last 16 games is hitting .340. And he almost always puts the ball into play. The hardest hitter in the league to strike out. Panik missed most of July with a concussion, and it took him a long time to get his timing back. He was 4 for 40 after he came back, but boy, he's swinging a hot bat right now. Double play ball here. Segura's got it. What a flip to CO. Yes, they got him. What a double play. Gene Segura, the shovel pass to Chris Owings, who spins and turns it. And the Diamondbacks get another critical double play started by Edwin Escobar. Segura the flip, Owings the spin. It's 4-2. The ball game in the 5th inning. They got a 4-run 5th. The bullpen has been outstanding, led by Edwin Escobar, who has induced 2 enormous double play balls. One to end the 7th and another to end the 8th. What a play that was by Gene Segura and Chris Owings. Sergio Romo will start the 9th for the Giants. Phil Gosselin will hit for the pitcher. Phil has hit safely in 6 of his last 8 games. He'll lead it off. Segura, then Bourne. Daniel Hudson warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Huddy will get the 9th. There's the strike. Gosselin a couple of hits and a start at first base Sunday against the Reds. It's a lazy fly pop-up. It'll stay right at shortstop for Crawford. How about that double play, BB? Segura and Owings up the middle.
A couple of great plays up the middle. Segura just to get to that ball, and then the backhand flip. CO has to kind of turn his back to his target there, but managed to hit the base with his foot and strong arm to Goldie to complete that double play.
So Edwin Escobar, couple of gold stars. The double play ball by Crawford ended the 7th. And the double play ball by Panic ends the 8th. Here's Segura. An RBI single. He scored a run in the 5th. He's 1 for 4. First pitch slider missed. There's a roller. Brandon Belt smothers it, spins, and Segura trying to beat Romo to the bag, but Romo held on. You saw Vic Carapazza wait to see if Romo still had the baseball, but he may have injured himself. Segura dove in there like Superman. Romo came in feet first. Here comes the trainer to take a look at Sergio Romo.
Romo was a little bit slow to get off the mound. It looked like he was able to get there ahead of Gene Segura, who came sliding by on his belly. Looked like maybe the right ankle.
He shows the ball to Carapazza. Then he called the out. Bruce Bochy out there as well to take a look at Sergio Romo. Romo was on the DL back in April with a flexor strain in his pitching arm. Had to be moved to the 60-day DL, so he's been hurt much of the year. He's missed 77 games, but he's okay to continue here as Michael Bourne steps up. Giants in the bottom of the ninth will have Nunez, the pitcher spot, and Hernandez, 8, 9, and 1. Daniel Hudson will get the ninth. Romer doesn't look great. Two down for Bourne, who's 0 for 4. One and one to Michael Bourne. Michael in his last 19 games hitting .333 and 3 hits Sunday against the Reds. Two balls and a strike. AJ Pollock on deck. Two and two. Drop that one in the back door.
If Romo leaves one of those sliders up over the plate for Michael Bourne to pull down into that right field corner, it'll be off to the races. Most guys have trouble hitting a triple at that 309 mark. I think Michael could leg out a triple if he hooks one down that corner.
Ooh, there it was, too.
Yeah, Hunter Pence, as always, well over in front of Triple's alley in right center.
I mean, Michael usually tries to stay up the middle of the field or opposite field, especially in a 2-strike count, but we've seen him turn on some pitches this year, mistake breaking balls or mediocre fastballs on the inside part of the plate. Here comes another slider.
One hop to panic. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth. Daniel Hudson coming in with a 4-2 lead. Diamondbacks lead the Giants 4-2, and on to close is Daniel Hudson. Huddy's 58th appearance, a 6.04 ERA. He had a stretch of 11 straight scoreless outings snap last Friday against the Reds. In that ball game, he was twice one strike away from his second save of the year, but wound up with a blown save. He gave up a run on 3 hits and a walk in that 9th inning and threw 32 pitches. He'll face Eduardo Nunez. Jared Parker is on deck. He would hit for the pitcher. And then Gorkys Hernandez. Nunez tonight has walked and singled. He's 1 for 2. Third baseman acquired from the Minnesota Twins at the trade deadline. Since he's been with the Giants, he's hit .240 in 27 games, including 2 home runs. Hard fastball is in there for strike 1. Huddy ahead 0-2. At 9th inning against the Reds Friday, Huddy got the first 2 outs, bang bang, a ground ball and a strikeout. Then it went single, 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 walk. Fly ball center. It backs up A.J. Pollock. 1 away. Jared Parker will be recalled now. And we'll see another hitter for the Giants. ARI Adrianza. Now, Adrianza just 25 games for the Giants this year. He's hitting .344 with 1 homer. He was with the Giants when they broke spring training, but only made it to the middle of April. He broke a bone in his left foot, wound up on the 60-day DL, and just came back August 2nd. He missed 95 games. And now Parker is back out on deck. He would hit for Gorkys Hernandez. Once again, Huddy gets a first pitch strike. Adrianza 5 for 13 as a pinch hitter this year with 4 RBIs. Diamondback Live post-game show is coming up next, right after our ball game. Todd Walsh will have reaction from the clubhouse. Same 2 teams tomorrow. Diamondback Live pregame show starts at noon. Shelby Miller back on the mound against Matt Moore. In the air, right field for Yasmani Tomas. It's up in that wind, and Yasmani's got it. It is howling out there to right center. But Adrianza got under it. 2 outs. Jared Parker will be the hitter. Parker just returned from the minor leagues on Sunday, had a couple of hits, including a triple. .254 on the year with 5 homers. There's that wind blowing out to right. Giants will get the tying run to the plate, and Angel Pagan will be the hitter.
Fastball meant to be on the inside corner. Huddy just jerks it in there. Gets Parker on the outside of that right leg.
Santiago Casilla jogs down to the Giant bullpen just in case they're able to extend the ball game. So Pagan is the hitter. He has singled and doubled tonight, 2 for 4. Tying run at the plate, 2 outs in the ninth. D-backs look like they're going to give Parker second base. There he goes. Pagan steps back and takes strike 1. And it's defensive indifference. On and 1. Bullpen quiet for the Diamondbacks. Casilla warming up for the Giants. A strike away. Edwin Escobar got double play balls to end both the 7th and 8th innings. And now Daniel Hudson trying to lock down the save in the 9th. 1 and 2 on Angel Pagan. Base hit. Roberto Kelly waves Parker home. He will score, and it's 4-3. Angel Pagan's 3rd hit tonight.
It's a hard ground ball that found a hole on the right side. Goldie wasn't protecting on the line, but he was shaded a little bit toward that first base line and just couldn't get there in time.
2 outs. Pagan is the tying run at first. Buster Posey, the winning run, steps up to the plate. Posey has walked twice tonight. He's 0 for 2. He comes into tonight with a 6-game hitting streak. Goldie will hold Pagan on the bag at first. Ball 1. Posey last 23 games is hitting .349. Fastball up, missed it. It's 2-0. Enrique Burgos running down to the Diamondback bullpen. The 2-0 to Buster Posey.
Well, he got away with one right there. Off-speed pitch up in the zone. Got Posey just a little bit out front.
Burgos gets busy again. Right to Segura on the one hop, and he throws him out. Daniel Hudson walks the high wire, but he closes out a 4-3 D-backs win.
Breathe.
Yep.
That ball was hit hard. Fortunately, right at Gene Segura at second base for the final out of the game.
And the Diamondbacks, who had lost 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two, including a 3-game sweep the last time we were here just before the All-Star break, hang on and win it in 3 hours and 18 minutes. Greinke gets the win. He's 12-4. Cueto the loss. He's 14-5. The second time this year the Diamondbacks have beaten Johnny Cueto. And Daniel Hudson hangs on and gets his second save of the year. Chip Hale's ball club will come back and try and sweep this brief 2-game set tomorrow afternoon with Shelby Miller back on the mound.